What do you think?
I think we're dead meat. Real dead meat.
You dead meat!
Go ahead and laugh, you guys. If I ever find a little bastards that did this, they're dead meat.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Chucky Season 2 After Show here on Dead Meat. Today we are talking about the grand finale, Episode 8, Chucky Actually, and we are so excited for today's guests. We have returning to the After Show, series creator Don Mancini, and for the first time, you've all been asking for him all season long. He is the voice of Chucky and has been for so long, Mr. Brad Dourif. Hey Brad.
Woo! Handy.
Oh my God.
This is so exciting.
And Gilly, my cat, who has seen Brad on many occasions during many ADRs.
Oh, yes.
Brad, welcome to Dead Meat.
What's the cat's name?
Gillian. I have two cats. They're siblings named Robin and Gillian after the characters from Brian De Palma's The Fury.
Of course.
Oh my gosh, amazing.
The Fury, which was referenced in Episode 7 when you blew up our boy Devin
Yes,
Sawa.
thank you for noticing, because I saw some outlets saying it in a reference to Scanners. It's like, no, it's not Scanners, it's The Fury.
Yeah, because Scanners is just the head.
Yeah, Scanners really has the monopoly on heads blowing up. You know, everyone just thinks it's a Scanners reference.
That's true, yeah. It's because the GIF got so popular.
Yeah.
Yeah, so with this finale, we kind of bring everything back to Hackensack, you know, really wrap up all these loose ends. Because when we finished Episode 7, we weren't sure where the show would go from there. So this felt like a little bit of a denouement, and it was nice to be back in Hackensack. Nice to get the Cross family again. And apparently it's something you've been wanting to do for a while, is have a bit of a Christmas theme to Chucky.
Yeah, I had dipped my toe in it, in Seed of Chucky when we had that brief scene, the film within the film with Jason Fleming with Chucky and Tiffany murdering Santa. But it's always fun. Any slasher, if he lasts long enough, I think it's fun to triangulate them into holidays and other various institutions to see them desecrated. And after all, Chucky's favorite color is blood. just as much as Tiffany's favorite color is diamonds, Chucky's favorite color is blood, and blood is one of the great colors of Christmas, blood and green.
That's right.
Yeah. I know, we were racking our brains because last week we were interviewing, Devin Sawa was on our after show, and he mentioned this finale, it's something that Don's been really wanting to do with this for a while. And we were like, is it a musical? Is it going to be animated?
We've heard those musical
doing?
Rumors. I've seen them on the Reddit.
I want to do all of that too.
Yeah. I want next year, if we do another kind of Christmas episode, let's go Rankin Bass stop motion.
Yeah.
I think that would be really nice.
We've discussed stuff like that, and doing like a whole riff on Island of Misfit Toys.
Oh, that would be perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who is the ultimate misfit toy if not Chucky?
Exactly.
And there was a little bit of a musical element here at the end with Chucky singing the 12 Days of Christmas. Brad, how'd you like getting to put a little Chucky spin on A Christmas Carol? Do you ever sing?
Terrifying. I can't sing a note. But I guess, I've sung the 12 Days of Christmas. Everybody has. It's like 100 bottles of beer on the wall.
Oh, yeah. It's a nightmare. It lasts forever.
It's
no
a
one
stamina
actually
test
likes
more than
it.
a song.
Yeah.
But Brad, you got to do a lot of fun voices this season with all the different iterations of Chucky. We were wondering, whose decision was it, for instance, to make like the Marlon Brando
I love
Chucky?
the Marlon Brando Chucky so much.
Certainly not mine. I don't do imitations very well. You can tell things aren't going well when you practice and your girlfriend kind of turns white and leaves the room. So, that was the kind of thing that was going on. But eventually, you can't, doing an imitation of a specific person, it's not an accent.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you're also you still have to be Chucky in a sense.
Yeah. And getting those two, I would get a little bit of Brando, and then I would say, okay, now I got to Chucky it up a little and lose the whole thing. I couldn't do Chucky or Brando,
It reminds me of in the old Looney Tunes cartoons where you have Bugs impersonating Daffy and then Daffy impersonating Bugs, and that's the same voice actor, and the way that he would have to blend those things, it's harder than you think it would be.
Yeah.
Brad just spoils me because he goes through all of this angst behind the scenes to prepare, but then he shows up to do it, and it's just delightful for everyone.
I complained. I let you know that it wasn't easy.
No, you did, but you don't but I'm not in Claudia's position.
No, that's true. You couldn't have handled it, Don.
I don't I'm not witnessing the work, the very real work, which I know objectively goes into something like that. But as you have always done, you make it look easy, and you certainly make it easy for me.
Okay, good.
And I loved it. And I knew you would nail that. I mean, that was one of the things that I so wanted to do this season, is just throw new stuff Brad's way, because, it's just we have this amazing actor that we get to work with. And I just we got to we got to give him new shit. New stuff to do. And so I was so excited about all three of the new iterations that Brad introduced this year. Good Chucky and Hulk Chucky as well.
I think my favorite, though, is Good Chucky.
Yes.
Me too.
It's everyone's favorite.
The Colonel does not have a sense of humor.
No.
I mean, he's like a very serious dude in every way. But Good Chucky is Chucky's shadow, He goes deep. And that was really a lot of fun, because it's a whole different way of being irreverent.
Yeah, in a way, he's almost the scariest one, because he's the most kind of, I think, opportunity for us as the audience to have our heart broken, and we did, and it sucked.
Yeah, Don, killing Nadine like that, you bastard.
We designed it to have this effect on the world, of course, because at one point I was considering having a different fate for Good Chucky. At one point, I considered having Good Chucky die valiantly to save someone. But I just felt instinctively, no, that felt wrong to me. As much as everyone thinks they might want that, I just thought it was important to bring Chucky back to who he really was, because we got to see this other side of him. And, some people have asked, was it all just an act? And I think it's clear that it's not, to me, that it's not all just an act. There are moments like when he's alone with Dr. Mixter, what he wouldn't have any reason to continue the imposture in certain situations. So, my intention and our intention in the writer's room and Brad's intention is that he really has been altered.
Yeah.
It's just that it wouldn't stick. And putting this in the context of a season where one of our themes was redemption. What is redemption, and is it possible? And, and having fun with such instant redemption rituals like baptism. It was very key that Good Chucky says, what a feeling. And it was so easy. So easy. And it's well, no, it's not. It's not that easy.
I was going to say the whole Good Chucky thing, and just the way that he really struggles with, am I bad? All these other Chuckies are bad. Does that mean, I'm like, man, that's so Catholic of him.
That's so original sin.
It just feels very original sin, and the idea of is all man inherently evil kind of thing.
Are all Chuckies inherently evil? And yes.
But I, just as a fan of Brad's and a fan of Chucky's, as I know you guys are too, I really do love Good Chucky. I think that part of the fun is just that our knowing, Brad as the character. Brad, so sorry to talk about you in the third person. You're not here.
That's all right. I'm actually a doppelganger here, because I'm not in the room.
Just so fun to see this other side of Brad. I mean, a side of Brad that I am happy to see because I'm his friend and have known him for all these years. I feel I don't know, I guess we can say this post-season thing. It's not too much of a spoiler because it doesn't really exist yet, but Brad and I have talked about this. I kind of want to bring Good Chucky back.
Yeah.
Just because I love him too. Even though people's response to a new iteration of Good Chucky would inevitably have to be different, because it's wait a minute, I'm not trusting you.
Yeah.
But I just think he's a fun version of that character.
Yeah, just the voice performance alone is so delightful to hear. It's pitched so high up. I didn't even know that your voice could go that high, Brad, but it sounds so innocent and childlike. It's great.
I do a good Mr. Bill,
Yeah.
Oh no, Mr. Bill.
We were curious, Brad, if you Do you watch the episodes as they air? I'm curious how often, or maybe if at all this happens, where you kind of have one intention while you're performing the character, and then you see what the puppeteers do with it, and it maybe makes it something totally different. Yeah.
All the time. All the time. I mean, and sometimes, I mean, I don't tell Don this, but sometimes I look and I want to go back and redo it. You know, I feel like I need to get the voice more in sync with what the doll's doing. You know, the puppeteers have to work very quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just not a lot of time to mess around and make things. And then they just get a different idea, you know?
Yeah.
So they do something different with it. And, you know, and I'd like to go in and change it. And sometimes it just works great. I was like, well, that's not what I intended, but boy, is that way better.
Yeah. Like if you had all the time in the world, it could be like, okay, you lay down like what you're going to do. And then they do something. And then you kind of even go back and forth so that you're really like a hive mind. Yeah.
Do that. I would love to do that. I would love to be able to go on set and work in real time with the puppeteers. However, I think that's expensive.
Yes.
I would love that.
Certainly slow
I
down.
would love it too.
Yeah, when you're making 8 hours of TV and bumping up against these deadlines. I mean, we're watching the not finished version so that we can record these ahead of time, and we see all the little notes for ADR, and we hear the temp voiceovers where it's someone else doing like a Chucky voice, and we're like, man, that's still not in there. They got to get on that. That episode airs in a couple of days.
I'm just like, it's so terrible. Like when the studio, when they propose sending these unfinished episodes out to critics, I'm like, are you sure?
Yeah.
Because that terrifies me. It sounds like you guys roll with it, which is great. And it sounds like there is a baseline of decency or quality in what we're doing that's still getting across, even when all the bells and whistles aren't on.
But I can't imagine, what was the one where all the Chuckies fell off the the truck.
Yeah,
that
premiere.
was the first episode.
I mean, unless that's finished, you're just not going to get it.
Yeah. We saw lots of puppeteers, guys in green suits, just like moving those dolls.
Puppeteers, the ninjas, you know?
Yeah, they do look like ninjas sometimes. So, Brad, you mentioned obviously you're not on set. Did you ever go to set for this entire season, or did you just do all remote voice recording?
No. I did. For both seasons, I did ADR. I have to do in the studio, or at least so far. Although I think that we could redo a rig so that we could do it at my house. But most of the time, the rest of the time, I do things at my house. I do all PR at my house.
Okay.
The thing is my first marriage, I married a keyboard player, and she played scales every fucking day. So I built a sound insulated against the rest of the house, a studio, and it's like the sound is perfect in there. I mean, it just dies immediately. So all you need is a decent mic and you can record really well. It's just like going into a studio. So yeah, the house works really well.
It's amazing how when you're trying to record sound, you realize how noisy your environment is. Like I voice act and record from home, and it's incredible. The leaf blower guys in the neighborhood, they know when I'm recording. And they always gotta do leaf blower day on the day that I'm doing stuff.
Well, I'm sort of in the country, so I really don't have that problem.
Oh man, that must be so
and like
nice.
I say, my studio's sound insulated against the house, so people can walk around the house and I won't even hear it at all.
Yeah.
And did you say you record, what do you record from home? Did you say like the PR stuff or?
Well, I do all PR, plus I do the original voice at home.
Okay.
So when we're just doing the lines so that the puppeteers have something to work with.
Yeah.
I do that at home.
And then the studio that you have to record the actual final
ADR. That's only ADR.
And where's that studio? Is that in LA? Do you have to fly out to there?
It's in New York. We tried one in Kingston, which is a town close to mine. But I just learned very quickly that, we had to redo a lot because they didn't like the way they were, if you're going to do that, it's recorded at the studio. And then when the studio sent the files, it was too hot. It wasn't what everybody was hearing. So we had to redo a bunch of it. And I felt like, nah, they asked me if I wanted to do it in Kingston. I said, no, I don't want to do it in Kingston. Do it in New York where, we go to a studio that just does ADR, mainly just does ADR. So it's, they didn't really know what they're doing there.
Yeah. Rather do it once in New York than twice. elsewhere.
Exactly.
So for the PR stuff, I've been wanting to ask this for a while.
Oh, yes. Oh, my gosh.
Because
Yes. Okay. I'm glad that came up.
I watch pro wrestling, and so I have seen the Chucky spots on NXT talking about all these wrestling moves and stuff, promoting the show. And that's you doing the voice for that?
Sure, of course.
Okay. Who wrote those lines about suplexes and everything? Is that Don or?
People I want to shoot.
That's not me.
That's not you? Oh,
that's not me. No, I don't even know, like, some of the words you just said. I don't even I mean, I'm trying to learn because, we had Liv Morgan on the show and we all loved her so much. And so, like, I've been saying to her, I want to come and watch one of your events, and I'm not even sure what to call it. So I go lapse to the word events, and and she's not LA based, so like I have a lot to learn about that world.
Well, hey man, WrestleMania next year is in LA, and we're going.
We're going, yeah.
You should go with us.
Yeah.
It's a good time. Yeah, Liv is a sweetheart. We talked to her a couple of years ago on Dead Meat about Child's Play, and she was saying about how it was her favorite movie and franchise. So when I saw that she actually landed a guest spot, I was so happy for her.
Oh, she was amazing. She was just a dream to work.
Yeah, and because she does the wrestling, her death was the way she did the death, and the way when she was stabbed and her reaction and all that was like dead on the money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She sold it.
I was going to say she sold it. Yeah.
She really knows how to do that.
I mean, it wasn't surprising given once they suggested that to us and I did a little homework about her, it was obvious that she was very charismatic and that we could make it work. But what I didn't know is that she just had a very natural ability with timing, and she just has a facility.
She's a performer.
Also, she's so nice too. So it's like I'm also curious to see this other rampaging side of her that apparently exists.
Oh, this is a very silly question, but I was thinking about how, we have all these different Chuckies this season, and some of them, like the Marlon Brando one, it's a parody of another character. Brad, I just was thinking about all your past characters and like, are there any characters, if you could do like a little Chucky version of, do you think any would fit? Because I just was imagining a Grima Wormtongue Chucky, and that would be so much fun.
That's so hard to do. Because, he has, Wormtongue, is a, a diplomat, at heart. And he does received pronunciation and how can you Chucky that up?
Yeah, just get his hair all greasy,
Yeah.
Well, you can it's very easy to make him look like
yes,
that.
but just the performance, that blend would be so weird. Yeah. James and I are big Mist fans.
That's what I wanted to talk about. Mist 3.
Oh,
yes, we wanted to ask about Mist 3.
Because we're halfway through it, so no spoilers.
I remember when the first Mist came out.
Yeah.
And I mean, physicists were like playing that game because it was so different from anything that happened and so ergonomic in the way that it was done that, I mean, I was a huge fan. I couldn't wait to do. I was like really honored that they asked me to do that. And it was the first time where I could do it and then see myself in the actual world that was already painted. So it was really great fun.
Yeah, I love it's like an FMV game. So it's a computer game if you're watching and haven't played Myst before. In this third one, it's it's a kind of a point and click puzzle, but then there's like videos of you as this character. I forget what his name is, but he's a man with he wants vengeance. Yeah, against the brothers, and
which sounds a little justified, honestly.
Honestly, he's probably correct.
So yeah, when you popped up, because we played through the first two and then we got to the third one, we were like,
oh my
god, it's Brad. We were very excited about that.
When did you play them?
We played the first two, like it was years ago, and then we picked up the third one, and I think we got stuck, took a break, and then it took us a while to come back to it.
Yeah, so we're in the middle of it right now. We haven't finished.
We restarted to work back to where we were.
Yeah. Don, for references to other movies, I feel like there have been a lot this season, especially with the Exorcism episode. With this latest one, the Christmas episode, were there some that we weren't picking up on? Because I was trying to keep an eye out for Christmas references. I heard like half a reference with a naughty that could have maybe been a nod to Silent Night, Deadly Night, but it seemed maybe a little less referential.
Well, it's a little, sort of generally a nod to movies like that, and television eps like the Tales from the Crypt episode. Horror and Christmas is a trope.
Oh yeah,
of course. Honestly, we do so many illusions, and it's such second nature to me. I forget.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I like just going through the episode. I mean, we reprise the end of 7, but we have Platoon, when Chucky's getting shot. I would literally have to like think through, but I'm sure I could say, oh yeah, we're doing this here and this here. But, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, obviously, since we have a chainsaw this time. Chucky coming down the chimney is also in a way an homage to that moment from the first film when Chucky himself, it wasn't Christmas, but he came down the chimney to get at Andy. As soon as we finish this call, we'll hang up and
you could do the Grinch.
I was going to say the Grinch, because I mean, it's even like Jennifer Tilly's dressed in all green, and, the mom comes downstairs and she's like, I'm just here, getting these dolls because, the delivery didn't make it. And isn't that sad? This light is out on one side, or whatever the Grinch says to Cindy Lou.
Dude, Jennifer's delivery of, oh my God, this is so random.
Killed
us. It was so funny.
She's great.
I love her.
She's great.
She's so funny.
She's so fucking funny.
Just every line delivery and just, oh man.
Yeah.
She's phenomenal. Is Dr. Mixter a reference to Halloween 2?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes. Absolutely. I mean, I just always, I used to, for years, had this joke with my partner, just the oddness of that name, Dr. Mixter. You guys must be familiar with the movie. There's that scene where Anna Alicia, I think is the actress, and she's walking into his office and she keeps going, Dr. Mixter.
Yeah.
Dr. Mixter. And she kind of like, it's this weird emphasis, like Dr. Mixter. And it just always made me die. I just thought it was the funniest name. And I kind of like Halloween 2. I mean, it's not on the level of the first movie, but there's a lot about that movie I like. So yeah, I did that when I explained that to Rosemary Dunsmore. She thought that was hilarious. But it also was right for the character as it turned out, because she does, on a phonetic kind of onomatopoeia way. It's right, because she's stirring the pot. She mixes stuff up,
Yeah, I always felt that way in Halloween 2 because it sounds like Mixer and that guy's always drunk. And I was like, oh, is that intentional? Like, is it Mixer?
Maybe that was it. That's such a weird word. Or to Dr. Mixter.
You were making kind of a nod to Halloween 2 in season 1 in the hospital-based episode, right? Or at least it was kind of on your mind.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, and we even named episode 201 Halloween 2 this year.
Mm-hmm. So obviously, Don, you're a huge horror fan and reference them aplenty. Brad, do you watch a lot of horror movies, or is it just work for you?
They scare me, actually.
Oh, they do?
I think my favorite is a very old one. It's Vincent Price played it. And Don, do you know the one I'm talking about, where Vincent Price kills all the
Dr. Fives, the abominable Dr. Fives.
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
And I think that one was the most genre changing, or changed the genre of horror. And I think it's probably, the grandfather of what we're doing.
I think you're absolutely right. And I loved those movies. There was a sequel as well.
When he played an actor, and that was brilliant. Yeah. I mean, he played so many different characters. Yeah. And he was brilliant, truly brilliant.
Oh, we'll have to check that out because I've never seen that.
It's really good. And those movies, as Brad says, we do have some DNA in common because, there's a camp meta winking at the audience element to those movies that's really fun.
We're almost out of time, but we have to bring up Billy Boyd because you got him back. We were hoping he would come back. We even mentioned him in our first interview with you, and your lips were so sealed.
Oh my gosh, yes, the poker face, incredible.
Such a delight to have him back, and I'm hoping that there's a way forward where we get both Billy Boyd and Lachlan, who is amazing.
If anyone can figure it out, it's done.
Exactly.
Is there a way we could do that? Stay tuned.
Did Billy record his lines remotely, or did he come to the U.S. for it?
No, we do it all remotely. Even as Brad and I, we just get on. It's not Zoom, but it's a complicated series of links where we meet in a forum like this and we do it. And so I did that with Billy as well. And it was so much fun to get to work with him again. And it was so much fun hearing that character. I had to come up with a logic. And of course, in our franchise, the logic is elastic.
Yeah.
But, why is it Billy Boyd and not Lachlan Watson? But I knew I had to do that. And so that's why I came up with the whole thing with Tiffany saying, with that accent you're doing, you're kind of overdoing it. And then Gigi, as the character is now henceforth known, leaning forward going, what would Jennifer Tilly do?
And crank that shit.
And Tiffany going, crank that shit.
That's a great, I think, motto for the entire show and why it works very
Exactly.
well. Just crank that shit.
Keep cranking that shit, Don. All right. Well, that's about all the time we have. I pray and expect, honestly, a season 3 because I think everyone keeps talking about Chucky and everyone's loving what you're doing. So thank you for doing it. Both
Thank
of
you
guys.
both so much.
Yeah.
Thank you. And thank you guys so much for being such supporters of the show. The fans, so appreciated and really means a lot. Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to be on your show.
This was so fun. Like doing these interviews feels like starting my day off with just like a big hug. Everyone's been so kind and great to talk to.
And not everyone from both the filmmaker and the performance role, not everyone is willing to stick with one property for as long as you guys have. But the fans so much appreciate that. And so thank you.
Well, he went and hired my daughter.
Oh, yeah.
Hired my daughter. That's it. I'm done.
And we love her too.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Oh, well, you guys know. And then Cleo, Brad's stepdaughter, Cleo plays the nurse in 208.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, the nurse with the little head thing who checks in with, okay, great.
Perfect.
And
Awesome.
she did a great job. So yes, the family affair of it all just keeps expanding.
Awesome. Well, we hope to talk to you guys again. And again, just thank you for everything.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you. Good to see you, Brad.
Yep, you too, dude. Always.
Bye. Thanks, guys.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Wow. We just talked to Brad Dourif and Don, who's also awesome and always great.
Yeah, I know, right? I feel like having Brad there, John and I couldn't go wildly off topic and have it all edited out.
That's right. Yeah, we had to stay on topic for Chucky.
I had to be on my best behavior today.
Although we did get a nice Mist 3 tangent in.
I was so glad we got to bring up Mist 3.
Brad was excited.
He was.
He was super
It
pumped.
makes me so happy that he's played them and he was so pumped to be in that third
Well, it
one.
makes sense. I learned about him through my dad, and Brad seems very much like my dad.
He reminds me a lot of your dad.
For sure. Well, this has been a fucking blast doing these Chucky after shows. It's been so great talking to all these people who have come together. Everyone under Don's big family. Everyone's saying that because they all love working with him and working together. And I don't know, man. Every single conversation has been different and rewarding in its own way. Lucy's gotten to join us on occasion. And, oh, man, it's so good.
Yeah.
I love Chucky.
I know. It'll be back, right?
It's gotta be
gotta
back.
be.
It's gotta be back. Yeah, assuming it does, hopefully we'll do something else like this for it, because we're on the Chucky train. That's for damn sure. But everyone who tuned in for these, thank you so much for watching. I know they're not kill counts or podcasts, but they're still good.
They're still good.
So you can still watch them. And thank you for every episode, our technical director and housemate and best friend James Gressel,
Yay,
who's been
thank you,
back there
Gressel.
working around his work schedule to fit these in and is always doing such a great job. And thanks, man. We love you.
Yeah.
You're the best. All right, well, tune in for the next thing of whatever we do. I don't know.
Great way to end this entire thing.
Yeah.
This
Just
journey of episodes. Just whatever.
whatever.
Yeah.
Bye.